Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and I'd like to welcome you to coming to a Friday free play where we learn techniques and tips and tricks and just fun, cool stuff using paper, multimedia, and all kinds of things. And today we're actually doing our number 4 in the foil series. If you haven't seen the previous 3, you're going to want to check those out. They were really cool. And the finale, the basic thing that we're going to be covering today is using the, I don't have it sitting right here, but the Deco foil, what they call hot melt adhesive, to put the foil on a t-shirt or on fabric, maybe a pillow, maybe a curtain or whatever is that you want to put it on. So we'll be doing that today. I have another little fun piece of foil that looks like this, kind of like, I don't know, like, you know, like ink floating on top of a water. Almost reminds me of like oil and water, where it oils on top of it. Anyway, it's super cool. We're gonna try to do a little bit with that, and then I want to show you this Gina K fancy foil, and this one's called Sparkling Silver because it's fantastic. You can use markers on it. So I've picked out a couple of really fun bright colors of markers that we can alter the color of this to match whatever it is that we want to use it on, whether it's paper or whether we're going to put it on another piece of cloth. So we're going to get started right away, and if that's what you came to see, that's exactly what we're going to cover today. Most likely we will not go a full hour. I never promise like we're going to go an hour, but that's kind of like the gist of my channel. Except for Wednesdays when we're live, because Wednesdays we do a live called 1 in 10 by Jen from Mailbox to Masterpiece, and I put together a card in 10 minutes. So those are roughly, 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how much talking we do after the card is made. So I have my little iron here, and I'm using this teeny little mini iron. And you can see by the size of my hand here about how big it is. It's not that big, but it gets hot enough to do this, and that way I don't have to pull out a big iron. You definitely don't need steam or anything like that, so a little craft iron would be perfect. And just so you know, I did try this ahead of time, and I wore this t-shirt last time. This one says shiny side up. So that helps me remember when I'm foiling to always put the shiny side up. And this one I couldn't see it as well when I wore it. Like the photograph I took of it was great, but when you're looking at it, you can't really read it. So I want to redo another t-shirt, but instead of shiny side up, I'm going to do Quality Crafts, and I'm going to do it in gold. So this is the t-shirt that I chose to do this time around. And for those of you guys looking at my empty desk, it's up here in the other camera for now. It's just like a shorty tee. It's called a tissue tee. It's super, super thin, but really, really stretchy, and I absolutely love it. And so I'm going to put that down here. It's going to be hard to judge. Maybe it's not quite as black as there we go. The camera might wig out a little bit trying to find it. There. So we're going to put it on this one. So I'm going to start with this in case I have a coughing fit and have to end early. I still have a cough, and it's just one of those things that you got to ride out, even though it feels like it takes forever. And I used my Silhouette Cameo to cut out my pieces. So I have them sitting right here, and I chose not to do a font that's tied together. So I'm going to have to lay these on, just eyeball it, okay? Hey Christina, I'm glad you caught us live too. I'm trying to catch up with a few of the people that are on here quite a bit. We've got Barbara Eastock, Bling It On, Connie, Rosie, Susan Baker, Goldie. Who else do we have here? Who did I miss? Tarita, hi. Lori is here. And Night Angel. So I'm going to dump these out. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can cut these in machines and stuff. And I'm just going to give you, for those of you guys who have a Cameo Silhouette, I'll give you a couple of tips as we're figuring this out. Wow, I didn't think that they'd be so sticky in there. The Hot Melt Adhesive has this funny little shiny side like this. See the shine? And then the other side is like a smooth paper side. So when I cut this, hey Sherry, when I cut this on my silhouette, I put the bumpy, shiny side down, flat, so that only the little blade was only, really touching the paper part and not getting caught on the bumps of this stuff. Anyway, I looked it up and that was what was highly recommended and has worked for me really well. And also, when you cut that way, you don't have to put things backwards when you cut them because they're going to come out cut that way. So I'm going to try to stretch this out. So my A, koala, Koala, has 5. So my A is going to be in the middle, and then I've got 2 letters on either side, and that's kind of how I'm figuring out where I want to put these guys. Koala. And I'm going to try to do it kind of like in a semicircle, sort of, just because I don't want to try to be straight because straight will just probably make me crazy. And then the T in the middle. Maybe move this up just a tad. That'll work. And I'm trying to make this so it's not wrinkled, but it's... Here we go. I already rolled this for cat hair too, for those of you guys who know that I have got a cat, 2 cats. I feel like this may not be quite even. I'm gonna move this over just a tad. Okay. And crafts, C-R-A-F-T-S. So kind of the 2 in the middle, C-R-A-F. A and F are kind of gonna make our middle. So A and F. Kind of want to maybe move that one. Put our A and our F in sort of the middle here. And then move our letters up closer and figure out that. And I'm thinking, you know what, that could probably, koala could probably come together a little bit more. I don't want it quite, maybe not quite stretched out that far. And I'm going to just scoot mine over a little bit just because it's not completely straight to my eye. So that's pretty close. I think that's okay. Okay, I think that's pretty close. And so now the bumpy, shiny part on the bottom is actually the adhesive, the sticky part. And that's going to stay on here. And eventually this paper part is going to peel off the top. And the first time I did this, I was trying to peel the paper and it wasn't coming off real easily. And then I thought, well, maybe I didn't heat it long enough because it says you only have to heat it for like 30 seconds. And this is like a lot more area than when I did the first time around. So I'm hoping that this works out just as well as the first one. I guess what I'm trying to say is, finally I just grabbed onto it and gave it a pull, and it came off, and the glue was just fine, and it was on the t-shirt. So if you ever get a chance to do it. Laughing is the worst for me. I actually don't feel terrible. It's just this ongoing cough that's stuck in my throat. So, I used a piece of printer paper as my, like, carrier sheet for on the top to be in between. But you can also use parchment paper. And I've got parchment right here. And I don't know what the difference really is, but I just feel like this worked for me the first time around. And so I'm going to stick with this. And I can't really see where the letters are, so I may just have to like keep pulling back, and I should be able to not have to move this too much, except for maybe while I'm talking, you know, put this on for about 30 seconds and then moving on to like the next letter. So yeah, we may not do an actual full creation with the other two foils, just because I know my voice is going to give out, and we're going to have lots of fun starting next Friday as well, and you can always join me Wednesday. So if I don't stay the whole hour and people are looking for me, you can tell them what happened. I moved some of my pieces by moving that on accident, so let me just straighten that out and move the T back where it was. So when I'm done with this one, I'll have to hold up that. I think, you know what, I got a plenty of it. I'm just going to put it over my shoulder, and that way it won't drag. Let's lift this up and make sure that my letters are still where I want them to be. And they are. So we're going to start. I'm going to do the T in just a minute, but I'm going to do these letters since I know they're there where I want them to be. $30 doesn't seem like a long time. I could use a cough drop, but really, unless I'm talking a lot or laughing a lot, I'm not coughing that much. Okay, and if I lift this up, kind of, it's sticking, so I'm wondering if maybe I just didn't do it long enough. I'm going to go over that again. Oh, and I've got the T in the middle, so we don't want to forget that. Susan does a really tremendous job for our community being here and moderating these. She said, give a thumbs up if you're enjoying this series and you like this channel. I would appreciate that as well. And also give her a big thanks for always being here. I'm kind of going over the bottom a little bit too. The hardest part is knowing whether you've held it on there long enough, because they only really give you the idea of, you know, 30 seconds. Well, unless you're like timing yourself, I kind of feel like that's, how do you know you did 30 seconds? I'm going to do that T again because I feel like I might have chinsed out on that one. Hi, Teresa. She said this is really different. Well, I'm hoping. Yeah, I don't always do fabrics and stuff, but you know, it's a foil technique, and we focused on foiling, so I just thought this would be really fun. I'm kind of looking at it going, you know, they start looking almost like not quite as opaque as when they started, so maybe that's a really good way to tell if you've put enough heat on for long enough. I'm going to go over the C and crafts a little bit more, and then I'm going to see if maybe that was enough heat. right, Night Angel. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Actually, I think that I should have pulled out my phone. You can literally do that. Just set a timer for 30 seconds and hit it up. Okay. I don't know how long that was, but let's move the iron into a safer position so I don't accidentally burn myself and see if this K comes off. So I really want you guys to see this. Do you see how the paper is coming off, but there's that glinty, fabulous looking sticky stuff underneath? It's sometimes hard to get it off the edge, but once you get it going, it's actually quite easy. Do you see that? Okay, so I'm gonna lay it back down because we're gonna have to go over this for the foil, and like I said, I'm gonna do gold foil this time, but I have to get all of these off of here. And I could have totally like sped this up and showed you only certain parts, but I wanted you to get the gist of how long this really takes, and that it really is pretty simple. The one that I looked up, I looked up a blog instead of looking up on a video, and that was harder for me. I really need to see things being done. And like, you know, how does that work? And, you know, tell me about it. Like, is this hard to get off? Like, because I had to pull on the edges of this so much to get the paper to come off, I thought maybe I wasn't doing something right. But it does. After you give it a pull, it should come right off. Just do it on the edges. And eventually you'll find that little piece where it's coming up, where it'll come up for you, and then you can go back to this one doesn't look quite as black, but when we put the foil on it, we're going to heat it again. So I have a feeling like if you didn't get it like super on there, we're going to heat it again, and I believe that'll help finish it off. I think the crafts is not ready. Do you see I don't know if you can tell the difference between the gray is the tea is a little gray and the rest of them are really black, aside from that the glare. If we can get rid of the glare, that's actually gray on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go over the crafts one more time and just let it sit a little bit. I'm a visual learner too, and you know what, because I got this iron on, I'm going to go down to my tank top because it is pretty warm down here today. We don't want to hit the T because we don't want this to adhere to our paper. I believe that's what would happen if I hit the T with the heat. It would glue the paper right to that T. Oh, another thing too, somebody asked me a question earlier and I think I forgot to answer it. Oh, how does this stand up to washing? From what I've been told and what I read up on it is that you should hand wash or gentle wash and wash it inside out, because it will not stand up to a super duper heavy wash. That's what I was told. My baby iron is, they want to know a brand. I don't know, but if you go to Michael's, it's either Michael's or Joann's, they've got them. And I have it linked below. You can get one from Amazon too if you can't find one near you. Oh, I know what I was getting at. They say you need to let this completely dry. Like completely cool, not dry, cool. And this is such a thin fabric, and I have it on such a, you know, on this mat and everything, that when I touch it, like, it's not even really that warm. It's gonna get like that. It's gonna be okay. Is that regular? We're actually using, now the C is coming off pretty easily. We're actually using Hot Melt Adhesive by Deco Foil. Actually, is it Deco Foil or Thermal? Yeah, Deco Foil. Hot Melt Adhesive by Deco Foil to do this. And so what it is right now is it's putting on the Hot Melt Adhesive, the adhesive part that's going to make our foil stick to our shirt. I'm having a hard time getting that A to come up. Come on, A. See, sometimes you're not grabbing the paper, but you're actually flicking on the glue itself. As soon as you hit the paper, it typically comes off pretty easily. Bend up the edge a little bit, like of the t-shirt, so that you can just barely catch the top of that paper and not the glue part, and then it comes off really quite simply. It took me a little while to get used to, because the first one I was really unsure. Okay. Now you can really see where that is, Quality Crafts, and we're going to put gold on there. So I'm going to pull out a sheet of gold. I wonder how much. I may have to cut this down into pieces. Okay, one strip of it should get the koala. And crafts, it's just a little bit longer. Shiny side up. Okay, so we've got all of our gold on there. That's the foil part. And then we have to cover it up again and iron it again. You could use a pokey tool, yes. Whatever you feel you need to do it on your end. So I'm going to put these down and hopefully not move my foil. I can kind of see it through there. So I'm going to start on the little S here. And again, I believe it's 30 seconds or so for each, you know, for whatever you're working on. I'm going to put this cord over my shoulder again, just so I'm not dragging it on my shirt. Hey, Teresa and Val and Ivy. Hi, Rosa. I think I forgot to say hello to you earlier. And so this is just the worst part of it is the waiting. And you don't want to put your iron on like super duper hot and add steam and try to hurry it up and stuff like that. Just put it on a medium heat, no steam, and just let it sit on each one so that that glue has time to adhere the foil to it. So while we're doing this, I think that I'm gonna I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience with excuse me, my experience with my Amazon laminator that I was touting to be so great. The first one that I had almost a year and I never had an issue with it. And for the 3 foiling videos that I did before, I ran foil after foil after foil after foil, everything through that machine, and I never had an issue. Then one day, when I was getting ready for number 4, I put a piece of foil through it. You know, in the carrier sheet, folded with the fold side through first, and it didn't come out the back end. And it ruined the roller. It burnt it out. So, because I bought it from Amazon, it was not a problem. They paid to ship it back, and they gave me a new one. No big deal. The next one I got, because they warranty them for a year. The next one I got, I was so excited. You know, I just wanted to keep doing foiling so I could get my videos done and get my practice on. And the very first thing I put through there in a carrier sheet was just a teeny tiny thing. And it never came out the other side, and it burnt out the roller. So, needless to say, I sent that one back. And I've been having issues getting it sent back, but that's another story. Nothing to do with Amazon. It's kind of a funny story, but it's irritating at the same time. I'm going to move up now and do the koala part. So anyway, I ended up, instead of getting, I still do have an Amazon laminator because I had already purchased one before realizing, under warranty you can get a new one. And so I had an extra one anyway, but they sent me one. Okay, so I have one, but I'll only use it for laminating, the laminating sheets and laminating pouches. I won't use it, I won't put anything else through it, because I'm too afraid to. Now I'm gun shy. What I did was I looked up and I researched a bunch of other laminators, and I looked to see what does Thermoweb use when they do their foiling. Okay? And Thermoweb literally uses Royal Sovereign machines. Even in the online video, and you can look it up on YouTube, Thermoweb Deco foiling. They call it the Thermoweb foiler, or laminating machine, or whatever they call it. They call it Thermoweb. But even in their video, it's stamped right in the middle with the Royal Sovereign label, meaning Royal Sovereign makes it's the same machine. But they used the 12-inch one, and I only bought the 9-inch one because it was much cheaper, obviously. Alright, I'm not sure if this is, if I did this long enough. I'm just going to take a look. You can kind of tell by looking at it if it's, like, you can see the letters turning out. I think I'm going to go over it one more time just for good measure. But before I finish that, I want to show you the Royal Sovereign machine. It looks like this. This is the one that thermal web uses. It looks exactly the same. You cannot tell the difference. The only difference is that the 12-inch is a little bit longer, but it's identical. The buttons are identical. It does hot and cold. The power and the ready button, those are identical. The opening, and it's stamped with the Royal Sovereign Design stamp right here, as you can tell. And then the back has this button right here. That's like the, if you want to let it release before it's done, you can release it and pull it out. And so this is the one I chose. I have not used this yet because I'm gun shy. I don't want to wreck another one. I feel like maybe I'm jinxed. But anyway, I took the Amazon Laminator off of my recommend list just because of what happened. Now, Amazon itself, I'm not downing at all because they've got excellent products. It's just for what I wanted to use it for, it wasn't working. And I was frustrated with that. So I'm going to test out this Royal Sovereign and I'm going to see how good it is. And then I'll get back to you, and if I really like it and I enjoy it and it's working well, then I will let you know if that's the one that I want to do. Yay, Teresa! Thanks for joining the group. So yeah, if you want to know what's going on in the YouTube here, when I'm canceling or when I have to move things around or what's coming up, you definitely want to join our Facebook group because that's where I put all that information out. So sometimes people aren't on there. Bye, Lori. They come on and go, well, where's Jen? Why didn't you come on this Friday? And so I don't want to do that to you. Make sure you join the group so you know what's up. Oh, good. Donna says she's heard good things about that brand. You know, Dee, you might not have any problem with your Amazon one. I didn't with my first one. I ran through hundreds. Maybe not hundreds, but I foiled my brains out with that machine before just one day I decided not to do it anymore. I don't know why. All right, I'm hoping that this is good enough. And because I really want to show this to you before I go. So let's start out with the S. Oh, beautiful. Check that out. The big reveal. Look at that. So here's what you have left over, obviously, is that those letters are gone. Yay! How fun, right? Ta-da-da-da. That's so cool. Quality Crafts. All right, let's put it on and see how far down my chest it actually goes, shall we? I'm going to take off my hat so I can get it over my head. And it's a stretch shirt. Stretchy, so I hope I don't wreck the letters. Quality Crafts. Let me bring this video camera down a little bit so you guys can see it. Ta-da! Quality Crafts. Check it out. I think that looks really nice. What do you guys think? I have my own Quality Crafts t-shirt. Ta-da! It's so cute, and you can read it. I mean, I feel like this is more easily read than the other one, which is right here. So here's the difference. I mean, you just, maybe because this one's not as big either, but look at that. I really like the way it turned out. Woo! Let me unplug this and get this out of the way. I'm going to set it on my back counter so I don't accidentally burn myself. And move this guy back up so you're not looking at my chesty area. My chestic. Alright. Yay! That was like the total finale. I'm really excited about how well that turned out. And it is really that easy. I mean, you just cut out the letters and put them on, and most of it's just standing there with the iron, right, waiting. It's super cool. Alright. I don't want to leave you with just that, though. I just didn't want to run out of time for that, because that was a biggie. I'm going to skip this, just because we've done a bazillion things of foil on here. But I do want to show you this one by Gina K. I'm getting a little worn out. So let me just pull out a piece of this. This is super cool because, and be careful, all this stuff is like just really, really, really thin. This one you can color. Oh my gosh, having issues here. Whew, there we go. So whatever kind of a thing, I mean, it's already holographic, as you can tell. See, it's picking up the light and making rainbows and stuff like that, right? But you can color it with alcohol markers, which is what these are. If you're looking for an alternative to Copics or Spectrum Noir, these are only like 50 cents a marker. So you can get a set of 80 for 40 bucks. And I'm hoping that that I can't remember who's still here besides Susan or no, I think did Penny show up? Anyway, if one of you guys could put on my my vanity URL, basically it is like everything that I throw into this list that I love will be on this like shopping page at Amazon, and it's all linked for me as affiliate links. So I'm always appreciative if you use those. I try to give you the best deals and look for the best prices and stuff like that. But these are really good to get because they do blend nicely. They're much like a Spectrum Noir, and like I said, they're only like 50 cents a marker. So let's say that we wanted to color part of this because a project of ours had yellow on it. Yellow's a bad one to show because it's hard to see. I can see it, but I don't know that you guys can. Let me bump this up because we're going to use all these colors. Oh no, I lost my shoe box. Here it is. I had a shoe box earlier so that I could bump something up higher for you guys to see. So right here is my yellow. It's really hard to see. Let me just do a little bit of yellow and switch to a brighter color. And let's try a purple. Actually, you know what? Let's do blue because blue next to a yellow will make it green. That's pretty. Can you start to see the yellow and the blue now? And then the pink. Ooh, whoa, whoa. That one really turned out. Check that out. Oh my goodness. So pick your highly pigmented ones. I haven't played around with this, I have to admit. I just saw somebody doing it. It was amazing. Check out how nice the purple looks. And then it still glitters in that color. How pretty is that? So you could, I think you could stamp on it. If you were to stamp on it, I would definitely recommend using StazOn. But honestly, I don't see why you couldn't stamp on it. Especially if you're going to put it on a card or paper, for sure. You might want to double think about that if you're thinking about putting it on something that may go in the wash. In that case, StazOn, so that it doesn't bleed out. Because I don't know any ink. I don't personally do a lot of stuff on like clothing and stuff. So keep that in mind. You know, how those wash and things like that. So the back side, this is the back side of the paper. Tracy Myers just wanted to make sure that I wasn't coloring the wrong side. And this is the sparkly side. So this is the side, shiny side up, that you would put up, that you would see if you were foiling this onto something. Let's go ahead and do, let's make sure it doesn't rub off. It does slightly. So it would need a little bit of time to dry. You see I got a little bit of color. Not a lot though. And now that purple looks even more fabulous now that it's lightened up a little bit. That's really cool. Let's go ahead and do, cut this a little bit. And where's my scissor run off to now? Oh, there it is. It's because I hide them. I hide stuff on myself. Crazy like that. I'm going to do it my favorite way. So I'm going to cut off this piece that we colored. I'm going to get rid of my shoebox. So there's our colored piece. Oh, don't put it in the light, you can't see it. And we're going to put that on a piece of cardstock. Let's just say we're doing it on this card, right? I want this to go pretty quick and I don't want to use heat. So what I'm going to do is pull out my tack it over and over. This is my favorite way to do it because it makes this so much easier. So here's my tack it over and over. And I'm going to put on I'm going to put on a little, just a teeny tiny bit of that tack it over on a dauber. And I'm going to dauber where I want this foil to stick. Little goes a long way. I'm just trying to get enough of a space that this whole thing will be covered. You can tell by turning it in the light and seeing where the shiny part is. I may have missed a little bit, but for sake of just showing you guys how this works, I'm actually rinsing this dauber off in my rinse well right now, because I don't want it to get stiff and hard and not be able to use it again. Okay. And then this doesn't take any time at all to dry when you do that. It's already tacky. See that? It's already sticky. And so all you have to do is run it through your Cuttlebug, your Big Shot, your Gemini if you're lucky to have one, lucky enough to have one. Oh, and I just dropped it on there, and it's already sticking. Let me take a little bit of this leftover foil. Now that I dropped it on there. And cover up the rest of it with this gold foil. Okay? Just to cover it all up. And we'll put this on. And then I need one more plate. And I believe that is sticky part. Let's see if that's got enough here. Yeah. And then just run it through and flatten it out. And the pressure just makes sure that it gets on everything. Alrighty, and so here's what we have left, and then you can just peel it off, and it sticks to all that glue that was underneath. Oh, now I know what you're talking about, Tracy. Look at where our color went. Our color was on the outside piece that she was talking about. So now that it's down here, we can color it. I colored it premature. Let's go ahead and add some more color and see what we get. Let's see if it ruins. Let's see if it ruins it. it's still vibrant, but not as vibrant. It almost like it, let me stop moving so you guys can get a really good look at it. It's almost like the alcohol marker takes some of the shine away. Tracy, I really think that you ought to come down sometime and do my videos for me. Pardon me. But you can still add a little bit of color. Let's, you know what, try, since I'm the queen of trying everything, let's try a water-based marker and see what that does. My guess is that a water-based marker would not even stay. Yeah, it almost like it. It's not my favorite look, that's for sure. Let me grab a dark one. Teresa, the t-shirt's already done, my honey. Let's try a really dark one. Let's try this dark blue and see what happens with this. I think this stuff is really throwing my camera off. There we go. So Tracy was right. After you get it on the paper, you can color it. The darker the color, the better, actually. Because this one's a super dark color, as you can see. And I got a nice light blue on there. I like that one. I actually really like that. And I like that this one's got little stars on it. Like, wouldn't this be really cool if you could find a nice deep red and go over it, or the dark blue, or red, white, and blue, and make this into like a 4th of July card? Wouldn't that be fabulous? Yeah, that turned out really nice. Just try not to color over it a lot, because it seems to me the more you add, the more it detracts from the sparkle of the original stuff. But anyway, I thought that was like super fun and that was worth playing with, and I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. So I wanted to throw it in here. It's not something that I'm super practiced with, obviously, but that is okay. You guys don't give up and don't not try things just because you haven't seen it somewhere or you're not sure if it's going to work. Just go for it. You know, you never know what you're going to come up with. You might have a little happy accident that's, you know, turns into something really super cool that you can use on a card or teach someone else, right? And then, yes, and then you could die cut that and do anything you wanted with it. But it's so pretty. Again, that is the Gina K Fancy Foil Sparkling Silver. And so you can see next to how it actually looks. As you can see on here, the colors we added. So fun. Oh, that dark blue marker, who asked me that? Connie. That is a set of 56 markers. That's also on my Amazon page if you want those exact markers. They're amazing, and I use them almost every day. They're just an off-brand, I think, and they're really inexpensive. Hi, Tina. Yeah, so that was what we want. That's what I wanted to cover today. We didn't use very much of that, so I'll probably put that one back in there. I'll save that. This is the Deco Foil Hot Melt Adhesive. Everything that I used throughout the whole foiling series is in the description box below if you're looking for some of that. I do affiliate with Amazon, so if you're looking for a good price on something, or I usually price things out before I pop them on there, unless I'm using something that follows, like the Deco Foil was something that I wanted like all Deco Foil for this time around. I just wanted to do that. You're welcome, Connie. I'm gonna wrap it up now because my dinner is sitting next to me. It is almost 6 and I got through pretty much everything. As a side note, I did not have a ton of luck with this Stick-It. A lot of the other people on YouTube use this and love it. But this, out of all the stuff that I used below in the description box, this was probably one that I wasn't the most happy with. Other than that, everything else was super awesome and I loved it. So what else? Before I leave you, let me go ahead and just show you the shirt one more time because I think some people missed it. Quality Crafts. How cool is that? If you're looking down here where my hand is, you gotta look in the other camera. You know what? I should be able to pull that out for you guys. There we go. And you know what? It's pretty centered. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Hey Sandy, we're just ending so you can re-watch, okay? So glad you stopped in. So there's the Quality Craft shirt. Super. Oh, and there's a little bling. I think that means that somebody joined the crew. Somebody subscribed to my channel is what happened. Alright, let me move this up. Now, if you're new to my channel, I just want to let you know that this is a pretty large community. We've got like over 1,600 people in the community, Quality Crafts on Facebook. We'd love for you to join us there. That's where you're going to find out everything that's going on. I do 2 lives a week. One is on Fridays, such as tonight, where I do series and other different kind of technique videos and teach you and show you how to do fun stuff. And we experiment and do crazy stuff and whatnot because we try not to limit ourselves. I try to make sure that my videos will help blend between the beginner and the advanced and make it a happy place for everyone to just hang out in their artistic journey. You are an artist. If you do art, you're an artist. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, just compare yourself to you and try to learn more and do the best that you can. Also, if you want to support the channel, I do affiliate through Amazon, as I've stated several times. Down in the description box below, you'll find a whole bunch of links to the things that I've used in this Deco foil foiling series, as it were. This is number 4. So you want to go back and watch 1 through 3 if you missed them, that'd be great. Another way to support the channel would be to join me on patreon.com/qualitycrafts. You can pledge any amount that you would like. You can cancel anytime you need to. That'll get you into a private group where we do different kind of things that we don't do in the regular KTC group, and you'll get the free digi every month. And there'll be exclusive videos that the other people don't get to see that will only be posted in that group. So if you're interested in that and also supporting this community and this channel so that it continues on, please do so. Join us on Patreon. I'd love to have you. And I cannot wait to see you guys next video.